Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. Today we're going to take a look at some of the pens from my collection, and I thought we'd take a look at 5 green pens. Here we go, our green inspired pens. What I've tried to do is go through a good range of manufacturers and shapes, just so we've got something interesting and different to look at. Join me now down on the table. Let's take a look at the pens and I'll tell you what I think about each one. Welcome down to the table. So we're going to take a look at 5 green pens from my collection. The paper we're going to use, this is a Rhodia notebook, A4 notebook. So the first pen, we're going to start in China. Here we've got a Kaigelu 316A. This is in this beautiful green acrylic here. Just look at that. Hopefully you can catch the light and see the chatoyancy coming out and the different shades of like this nice, bright, vibrant green. I like the way we've got the gold trim as well. This one is a cartridge converter. So let's take that off. There we go. There's a converter. Converter comes with it. In fact, I think all the pens today, they're all cartridge converters. Here we've got the nib. This is the Kaigelu nib. Very nice. I love this nib. It's really, really wet. So we've got here a Kaigelu 316A. Puts down a really nice line. It's a medium nib. I do think, to me, it writes slightly wider than medium. The ink, it's by Pilot. It's Iroshizuku and Shin-Ryoku. Shin-Ryoku. The price for this pen is 35 Aussie dollars, so quite an affordable pen. Let's do the square. So here we go. See, it's flowing really well. Drying times, so we got immediate, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, virtually dry there at 30 seconds. I will say this is middle of summer that I'm recording this. It's currently 23 degrees Celsius, just so you've got an idea about the temperature that I'm working in. But I do like this pen. I think it's very, very pretty. And for $35 is really good value. And I would say 3/4 of the time I've got this inked up with at least one green ink or another. So that's the Kaigelu 316A. Next up, we're going to stay with China. And we're going to go to one of my first Chinese pens. I'm just going to move this up ever so slightly now. We've got here when I bought it was Moon Man, now called Majohn, the Majohn M800. This one, obviously, is the green version. I've got all 4 colours of this. One of my favourite pens, I will be honest. I just love the shape of this. I love the way the acrylic. I just love the way the acrylic looks. And again, as I'm turning this around, you can see the way that it's capturing the light. So again, cartridge converter. There's the converter there. And here, this is not the nib that it came with. When I bought this, I bought it with a Moon Man nib. They only had the choice of fine or fine. I'm not into fine nibs at the moment. So what I've actually got in here is a Goulet broad nib. So the actual whole unit, you could say, isn't what was bought. But the beauty of these pens, number 6 size pens, I can easily swap the nibs. And that's what I've done. So this is a Goulet broad nib. So it's a Yoho nib. So we've got here a Majohn M800 with that broad nib. The ink is by Lamy, part of their Crystal series, and it's Peridot. The price for this pen, for the pen alone with that Majohn nib, 66 Aussie dollars. You're talking about another $15, $20 for the nib unit. We'll do the grid. I've got this idea of doing these from Wasty Squirrel. I think it's a brilliant idea. There you go. There's the grid. Do you know, I forgot to do my sentence on that previous one. We'll do our drying times first. So here's immediate. 10 seconds. Almost dry there at 10 seconds. Let's go for a 30-second test. Still smudging a fair bit. 1 minute. After a minute there, that one's nice and dry. I'm going to hold off writing my sentences right to the end. I think that way we can actually see them all next to each other, which would be quite interesting. One thing I will say, broad nib here on the M800, medium nib on that 316. This is where you can see that broader nature of the medium on this Kaigelu coming through. But this one, this is a beautiful, gorgeous Majohn M800. So that was 2 Chinese pens. Now we're going to jump and we're going to go over to India. Here we've got the Ranga Model 5. This is a big pen. I'm going to pop it down here if it won't roll off. I'll hold it there. I'm going to fetch in that Kaigelu 316A. Just so you can see the size difference. Just look at that. The Ranga is the beast of pens for me. The Hulk, or the big boy. This is the green stripe version, so predominantly black. It's an acrylic with this gorgeous green coming through. Loads of threads on here. Comes with a cartridge converter. I've always used this with this converter. Everything is acrylic though. You could, if you wanted to, you could eyedropper this. I don't intend to. I think if I filled this with ink, I think I'd be going for about a year. Beautiful pen though. It's a beast of a pen. Number 6 size nib on here. This is a Ranga nib. This is a broad. The pen, just look at that in my hand. Even unposted, it's massive. You can post it. I don't know if you'd want to. It's just so big. But unposted, it's a bit of a chunky pen. I say we've got a Ranga nib there. So we've got here a Ranga Model 5. Even though it's so big, I find this extremely comfortable to write with. The ink is by Robert Oster, so it's an Australian ink. It's Ryde green. Nice bright green ink. The price for this pen, so we're now jumping in price. We're going up to 142 Aussie dollars. Let's do that grid. I've had no problems writing with this nib. This is another pen I actually do have filled a lot of the time because I say it's just so comfortable to use. Yes, it's a chunky pen, but ever so nice. Drying times, so here's immediate. 10 seconds. 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, that one there, now we're nice and dry. So this is the Ranga Model 5. Just dropping in to interrupt your regular programming. Would you like to help support the channel? If so, please consider joining as a member. As a member, you'll get early access to my videos. I normally upload them a couple of days before they go out, and as soon as they're uploaded, they'll be released to members. There'll also be a shout out at the end of the videos, and then as we get the members coming in, we'll actually chat among ourselves and work out what other perks, what other things you'd like me to add in. You know, would you like maybe a monthly live chat just for members? All down to us. So please, if you can, consider joining the channel. A link will be in the description down below. Next up, this is an Australian pen. I'm just going to move this paper up underneath it just a little bit. There we go. This is by Platypus Pens. This is a pen company based over in Melbourne. And this is the Model 10. These are 3D printed pens. It's got a wide range of finishes available, wide range of colours. I went for green and white. I'm agitating it because the ink in here is a shimmer ink. So once again, We've got a converter there. Again, it's all resin. Not sure if you'd want to try eyedropper in it. I don't intend to, but you know, you don't have any metal fittings at least. Nice lengthy section on this. The section is very nice. My fingers just fit there quite nicely. It will post. I don't use it posted, but it does post. It doesn't seem to add a lot of weight. The nib, this is a Yoho nib, number 6 nib. This one's a broad. There we go. There's a feed there for you to have a quick look at the feed. As I say, I've got a shimmer ink in here. So this is a Platypus. And it's a Model 10 with a broad nib. I am finding I'm getting a little bit of flow issue with this particular ink. I think it's because of the shimmer. Non-shimmer inks I've never had a problem. The ink in here is by Diamine. And it's Sugar Snap. So this is from the 2023 ink event calendar. I believe it was day 24. Price for this pen is 160 Aussie dollars. Let's just do our grid. I wonder if we'll get to see any of that shimmer coming through. We'll have a look in a second, once it's had time to dry. Drying time, so there's immediate. 10 seconds. Nearly dry there. 30 seconds. Yeah, after 30 seconds, that's dry. Just going to lift this up and see if we can see any of that shimmer coming through. Wow, I don't know if it's coming through on the camera, but virtually every single letter is full of that silver there. Hopefully the camera's capturing this. So pretty. Just trying to capture that light properly. It's very hard with shimmer inks to try and capture them properly on the camera. So this is that 3D printed Platypus pen. Very nice, unusual pen being the fact it's 3D printed. So my final pen, I thought would take a trip to Japan for this one. Here we've got the Sailor ProGear Slim. This is in blue-green nebula. So not exactly pure green, but it's very like a tealy colour. But I see lots of like the green side of teal in there. There's another one. It's a cartridge converter. I'm going to be honest, I can't remember if the converter came with this. I know there are some pens you have to buy the converter separately. Not sure if this was one of them. Metal fittings, so it's a shame because I think this would have looked nice with this transparent nature. This would have looked nice if it was able to be eyedroppered. Unposted, it's a very small pen, you can see that. Need to use it posted. Posted, perfect size for me. Width-wise, does feel a little bit on the thin side. Not unusably so, but it still does feel a little bit on that thin side. This has got a 14 karat gold sailor nib. Very nice nib. One of my favourite nibs, I will be honest. I say, as long as I posted it, beautiful to write with. So we've got here a Sailor ProGear Slim. It's a broad nib, but it's a Sailor broad nib, a Japanese broad nib, so tending more towards a European medium. The ink by Diamine, Aurora Borealis. This is an ink that I often use in this pen. You know, got an astronomical name for the pen, an astronomical name for the ink. Price-wise, we're looking at 224 Aussie dollars when I bought this. So, of all the pens, the most expensive. But remember, it's a gold nib. Let's just do our grid. I know the grids seem to be changing in size as I go. Could do like a stamp so I've got a similar size. drying times. So here's immediate. Wettest looking one so far. 10 seconds. 30 seconds. Another one, dry at 30 seconds. I think a lot of this fast drying, it's down to the temperature, the humidity that we've got here. I say we are in the middle of summer. Beautiful colour. I don't know if it comes through here. You can see the sparkles there in the material. They're like stars sparkling there in that nebula. That's the Sailor ProGear Slim. I'm going to move this down. What I'm going to do now is move the mic so it's down near the paper. With each pen, I'm going to write a sentence. Why I'm going to do this is I normally write them underneath my samples, and then when I messed up that first one, I thought, well, actually, we'll do all 5 next to each other. Then you can see what the different line variations are like. So, coming out in the same order. That was the Kaigelu 316A. Next up is the Majohn M800. Now we've got the Ranga Model 5. Next up is the Platypus Model 10. Then finally, we've got the Sailor ProGear Slim. I love writing with all of these pens, I will be honest. That last one though, the Sailor, still in my hand, there you go. Quickly fetch that back in. By far the nicest nib. Only downside with it, it's a bit on the thin side for me. We can see here the difference in the line. The first pen, the medium nib, by far the widest line of them all. The rest of them, I've got to be honest, to my eye, they're all very similar in terms of the line width, so they are all fairly consistent in that broad range. I say the last one, absolutely love the way that nib feels. The feedback on it is just so nice. Let me just swap on over and we'll fetch back all the pens for one final look. So the green pens we've looked at today, we've got the Kaigelu 316A, we've got the Majohn M800, the Ranga Model 5, so big it won't even fit in the camera frame, it wants to run away. The Platypus Model 10. Now, one thing that you can see here, the Ranga wants to roll away, there's no clip on it. The Platypus doesn't, but what the guy's done, when he makes these, he puts a bit of weight in him, so that there is actually a bottom. And then the final pen we've got here, this is the Sailor ProGear Slim. I don't know, we're all muddled up now, but these are my 5 green pens for our comparison today. Of these 5, if I was asked to pick a favourite, very, very difficult. I do love the M800s. I do love the line I get on the 316. I love the nib on the Sailor. I love the unusualness of the Platypus, but the Ranga purely for the size, for the comfort, for the way it just feels in my hand. That to me, of these 5 pens, just by a teeny little bit, would be the winning pen. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. What did you think of these pens? I know, nice green pens, aren't they? What colour would you like me to look at next? Please drop a comment down below. Let's kickstart the conversation. Please hit the thumbs up button. Every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.